Hello everyone, this is Mr. DFX, CEO and founder of Beast Trading Software. Well guys, what a crazy few weeks it's been in the markets. For those of you who don't know, unless you've been living under a rock or living underground, the markets have been crazy these last few weeks with the virus. And it's been really challenging to trade. A lot of people have lost money. Some of the world's top hedge funds are down for the year. It's really been a very chaotic time. I want to record this video to just run through the charts and show you how our software has been performing these last few weeks, and to show you the performance and the successes and the losses with our software. You know, all technical based systems it's been really challenging for them these last few weeks, you know, with all the news going on, and it's really challenging for any technical based system to be profitable when there's so much fundamental uncertainty going on in the markets. You know, any kind of news report can really sway price one or the other, and it really makes technical trading extremely difficult. Now, our software is a technical based system. It follows a set of rules. It will analyze past price data to make a high probability prediction of where it thinks price will go. And this is pretty much what the software does. And you know, on average, our software is 70% accurate. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. So there are going to be times where there are some losses. And I'm going to show you the situations where we had some losses, but not based due to the fact that the indicator was wrong, but because at that time there was a fundamental news release or there was something going on in the market due to the virus that obviously put that signal into a loss. But you know, as always, we are fully transparent and we don't hide anything. We show you everything on the charts, and you're going to see everything today across a whole bunch of pairs that we're going to be running through. Now, before we get started, I just want to run through the indicator settings for this video. We are running the indicator on default settings. The only thing I've changed is I've switched off alerts, and I am hiding the panel so that the panel doesn't take up any space on the chart, so you can see all the signals on the chart. But this is always an option, so in your own trading you can always set it to true if you'd like to see the indicator statistics. Alright, all the pairs for this video we're running on the 50-minute chart. This is just our own personal preference. We like to trade mostly on the 50-minute chart, as you tend to find you get a good amount of intraday signals. But that's not to say that our indicator doesn't work successfully on other time frames. Our indicator can work on all time frames. It really just depends on one type of trader you are. If you're a scalper, if you're a swing trader, intraday trader, it's really up to you. Personally, we prefer more intraday trading, and we like to trade signals within a couple of days. We don't really like to hold our trades for weeks or months. So this is just our own preference. Now I'm going to jump right into it. The first chart we're looking at is the Australian dollar, Canadian dollar on 50-minute chart. As you can see, in this last week we haven't really had much. The markets have been kind of all over the place. And you know, like I say about our indicator, if the rules are not met according to the strategies, there won't be a signal. So if there's nothing that meets its criteria for an entry, there won't be a signal. So you might find that you might not have a signal for a whole week on a pair, and then on next week you might have 2 or 3. It really depends on the entry criteria all being validated 100%. So in this case, on this pair, we didn't really have much action on this week. But on the previous week, we did catch a very good sell, which went into a very nice profit. We caught a previous buy. And then just looking back, just as we go off the chart, this is from just over a week ago. We did get a signal. I think it did hit a profit. I'm not sure if it would have hit the take profit before reversing, but it definitely did go into profit initially before reversing. Next pair we're looking at is Australian dollar and the Swiss franc again. Not much action this week, but in the previous week we did catch a very good buy, and here we did catch a sell, which was a loss, but the next sell signal was a win. Here we have Australian dollar and the US dollar. 2 good buy signals. That did go straight to profit, as on the previous chart. Price went down. This was obviously when the virus news was really hitting the markets. Unfortunately, we did take 2 losses there, and we managed to recover with 2 very good buy signals there. And then again, we caught a very good sell over here. Again, this week, not much action on the indicator for this week. Now moving on to euro. On the euro again, not much action this week. It's actually been a pretty slow week, but you know, on the previous week we did catch very good 2 sells. This buy looked like a loss. Here we had a good buy. And then looking back into early last week, we had 2 sell signals which did go into profit initially, but then I'm not sure. I can't really say if it would have hit take profit 3 before reversing. Okay, and the next chart is the euro and the Canadian dollar. Only one signal we had this week. It was a sell, and it was a very good sell. This didn't even hit even the slightest amount of drawdown. It just went straight to profit. So this was a really good signal that we had this week. Moving on to Euro GBP. Yeah, we had a very good signal this week as well. Good sell. Caught a little bit of it did take our take profit 3, caught a pullback, and then just carried on its momentum all the way down. Looking back into last week, we caught a good buy signal here. Here was a loss. And then looking back, we had 2 sell signals, which did initially go into profit, but then obviously due to market news and market fundamentals, this long spike, this you can clearly see is a fundamental news release or something related to the pound, which obviously was probably related to the virus, and this just took out. So even though technically these 2 signals were valid and correct, when it comes to some news events, unfortunately, there's not much you can do. You can only make sure that you use a stop loss to protect any event that you do run into the situation. All right, the next chart we're looking at. Just wait for my platform seems to be holding up a bit. Murphy's Law, right? Murphy's Law that when I'm doing a live recording, it decides to freeze up. All right, there we go. Back in business. Beginning of this week, we caught a very good sell signal here. Went straight to profit. Luckily, it took out a good take profit 3 and before price turned. Only one signal on this pair. It's been pretty quiet on this pair the last few weeks. But like I say, if we don't meet the criteria, we won't give you any signals for that pair. On to the euro and the New Zealand dollar. Also not much action this week, but into last week we did catch a good buy signal here. There was a loss, but man, this was really a highlight signal last week. If you were trading with our indicator and you're trading this pair, this was just a fantastic signal that you could have caught and really banked a good amount of pips. So this really was a good signal we caught. Here we did have a sell signal. It did initially go into profit before reversing. This was just obviously due to the virus. This news here, you can clearly see this is a fundamental movement, completely out of our control. All right, and on to the most actively traded pair on the market, the euro dollar. Looking back this week, not much action. We did catch a sell, which was a loss, unfortunately. Here we did have a buy, which was a win, and here we caught 2 buys. This one was a loss, this one was a win. So kind of mixed results on this pair lately, guys. Obviously, with everything going on, it's really volatile. And the best we can do is make a best-based high probability prediction of where we think price will go. I mean, to start off the bat, it's always 50-50, and you can only try and increase the probabilities. So this week hasn't been the best for this pair, but it has been pretty good on other pairs throughout the weeks, considering all the market volatility and the things been going on. Moving on to the pound, we have the pound and Swiss franc. This week we've got a very good buy signal here. This was really just a good runner overall. Looking back into last week, we had a good sell, and here we did have 2 buy signals, which of course technically they were valid, but unfortunately when it comes to some sort of news event, there's not much that you can do except make sure you're using a stop loss. And moving on to the dragon, here we did have a very good buy. Unfortunately, it did take out a take profit 3 before turning back, and it looks like there's some mark there, so it didn't hit stop loss. Looking back, we had a very good sell. This was a fantastic sell signal. And then looking back, we had a buy signal, and again, that same news event would have hit the signal into a loss. And we move forward. Still got quite a few charts to run through, as you can see, guys. Got a lot to show you. All right, next we have the pound and the New Zealand dollar. Not much action this week, but we did catch 2 very good sell signals last week, and those 2 really took out a very good profit. Here we are on to the pound and US dollar. This week we did get a buy signal. Unfortunately, it was a loss, and nothing much you can do in that case, but we did get a good buy signal early in the week, and this one was a very good profit. And looking back, it was a good sell here. These 2 was a loss, but again, it was that same movement that we've seen last week across the pound, all pound pairs. not much you can do in the case when, like I say, when there's a news event that goes against you. There's nothing you can do. Alright, moving next, we're on to our New Zealand dollar and Canadian dollar. Last week, very good sell signal, two very good buys. And here again, just as you can see there, we caught a really good sell signal there. That was really, we caught that signal right on the top. That was really what you can call picking tops and bottoms. New Zealand dollar and Swiss franc. Again this week, not too much action going on, but the previous week again, we saw some really good signals. I'm just going to move through a bit faster. I don't want to take up too much time, guys. As you can see, pretty much the general consensus is that overall the indicator has managed to be quite successful and banked quite a few pips along the way. All right, looking back last week, two good sell signals here, another good buy. So on this pair, pretty good results again. On the New Zealand dollar and US dollar, again this week, nothing much, but last week we did have some good action. Very similar results, similar signals actually to the other pairs. And here we're on cable. This again has been a mixed pair. We did have a couple of signals there which did thankfully take out a take profit. Obviously it depends which take profit you're using, but they did hit profit. There again, we got a very good buy signal here. This, I actually want to show you guys, obviously full transparency. Here we took two losses before our third signal hit profit, and this movement here, you can see this is a strong fundamental movement. This was actually when the oil crashed and the Canadian dollar was just not doing very well at all. And technically we thought that price was going to turn at this level. Unfortunately, it wasn't done with it yet. But then we thought it was going to turn at the next level, but the price wasn't done with it. And finally, on the third signal, we were correct, and our analysis played out. And we did manage to recover any previous losses. So this was a really good. But just to show you full transparency, we are going to take some losses along the way. That is inevitable and it cannot be avoided. So always use a stop loss. All right, for gold traders, again, here I just want to show you and highlight to you. Here we had a few losses along the way. This was when the gold price really started on its bullish momentum due to the gold demand, and this is all virus related. But looking back, gold did pretty well. A good sell signal there, a good buy signal there, another good buy here. This actually, we caught the buy. This was just before the market closed on last Friday. We caught a good buy signal. The market opened on the gap, so you really would have got a good amount of profit on this signal. All right, and for indices, guys, for those of you who've been trading NASDAQ and the S&P, these markets have been really crazy the last few weeks. It's been really hard to trade. But we did manage to catch the bottom. If I can literally say we caught the bottom, because as you can see, we got a buy signal here right on the bottom. And if you had bought at this time, you would be in a really good profit. So a really good entry price that we caught at the bottom of this pair, the S&P 500. Next, we have the NASDAQ. Again, we caught the bottom nicely at the bottom of this gap and took out a good profit. Looking back, two buy signals initially would have gone into a drawdown. I can't say if it would have hit stop loss, but then price did come back and this would have been a win. This signal here would have been a loss, unfortunately. But for NASDAQ, generally, it's been pretty good. Our last pair is Bitcoin. So for those cryptocurrency traders, again, Bitcoin has also been very volatile and kind of all over the place. It's been actually pretty hard to do any kind of solid technical trading on Bitcoin, but it hasn't done too badly. Here the signal, okay, we took a loss, but this one, it was a win. These two were wins. This one, I can't say if it was, looked like it actually might have hit take profit, and this one was a loss. So generally overall, as well, not too bad as well. Guys, that's pretty much it I have to show you for this week. I really just wanted to give you a fully transparent outlook to show you how our software has performed these last few weeks with all the market volatility going on, and to show you that even though it's really hard to trade at the moment, it is still possible to be profitable. Thank you guys for watching. If you'd like more information on our products, you're welcome to visit our website. The website link is in the description below. You can also check us out on NCure5.com, the world's largest Forex website. We are there, we are available. You can always send us an email if you have any questions. And please guys, if you like this video, please like it, share it, subscribe to us so you don't miss out on future content. Alright guys, that's pretty much it. Have a great weekend. Thank you for watching. Cheers, bye.